What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we have another car to work on. It's a little rough around the edges, but the owner just picked it up from I don't know, I'm assuming some dumb kid recently. It's this little guy behind me, this blue EK. It's got a mini-me swap in it, so I think it's like a Y7 block with a Y8 head. Obviously OBD2 and stuff, otherwise it'd be like Z6 and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do single cam stuff, but I do maintain them. So pretty simple. He's just getting a full tune-up and stuff, so plugs, wires, cap, oil change, blah blah blah. I'm gonna go ahead and check the mechanical timing, and the cam timing or ignition timing. I just need to get my timing light, or a timing light from Doge. But he said after about 20 minutes of driving it, when it's pretty much fully warmed up, it runs a bit rough, kind of wants to die out a little bit. So I'm wondering if, like, I don't know, maybe it could be a fuel delivery issue, but I won't really know until I get these things knocked out of the way. But unknown history of the car, really. So we're going to take that and we're going to work with it. And it shouldn't be too bad. I think we can get this figured out. I'm going to go ahead and calibrate his TPS and stuff, because, I mean, I can tell already it's been modified or adjusted before. It doesn't have the factory riv screw things in there, so it could be a mix of things, but I'm going to help him try and figure it out. One of the other things he had mentioned to me is that his instrument cluster lights don't work. He said the cluster itself works, but the lights don't. So I'm thinking that's just a fuse. I'll have to run through the fuses. And if it's not a fuse, I don't know if I'm going to go too far into diagnosing it without, you know, getting paid for that, because it's going to be quite the thing to start chasing wires, looking on diagrams. But and then he said, I mean, this is obvious, but headlight harnesses are all chewed up because the kid put in some cheap HID kit on that side. Looks like he's missing the harness on this side, so poor car, man. The guy's fully aware that the car is a total nugget as well. That's why he brought it here. He said he lives in the HOA and he really can't do this type of stuff at his place, which is really unfortunate. So yeah, that sucks. But he has the right mindset. He definitely wants to actually put good quality parts in this thing, get it back up to par. He knows that there's a lot wrong with it. He knows that he bought it from just young dumb type situation. But you know, this is gonna be a pretty cool car, I think, once it's finished. The body's in really good shape, other than that rear bumper that's got the dent in it. It's really not bad. But I'm gonna go ahead and try and figure out how to get this thing jacked up in the air. This thing's dirt nasty low, and judging by these top hats, those look factory. So I'm wondering if it's not just on cut springs. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get this thing in the air so we can get this oil drained, and we'll see what happens. Wasn't too bad, just had to use the double jack. Alright, well, I'm gonna grab the GoPro and just start working on stuff. this is what the PCV valve goes into on these D-series motors and then like the B18s and stuff. It's called the black box. It's like for emissions and stuff and crankcase ventilation. And yeah, normally goes in right here. So this actually sits back here under the intake manifold just to the top right of the oil filter. And normally you just pull the hose off and this is just kind of sitting in there like that. This one has not been changed in a very, very long time, so what happened with this one is it broke off. Do that, try and fish out the guts of this since it was already partially broken when I got to it, and then I just finished breaking it off, trying to pull it out. But yeah, pretty simple, normally. But this is a big part, so this one makes lots of noise. That's good, that means it's clean. This one is not going to make any noise, even if it was all one piece, because it is definitely really dirty and clogged up in here. Well, I was also under there, I just found that his alternator bolt is missing the nut, so his alternator's been super loose. So I'm gonna put a nut on that really quick, but the PCV valve in the black box is back on the motor. It's such a pain to get up there, but it's on. So I found a couple things that I think are gonna be part of his vacuum leak issue. So like I said, the PCV black box or whatever, it was already missing the top bolt. It has a seal on the ring where it slides into the block, so that should seal it. So I don't know if that's gonna cause a leak, but his little ring thing that holds the PCV valve in place, that was super crusty when I pulled it out. Part of it broke off, so I kind of wedged it in there in a way that hopefully it shouldn't be a vacuum leak. But I just saw here when I was putting the spark plug cables in, this one is totally broken. Mind you, I have not touched this. So this one's broken, so that's not even going to seal, so that's going to create a vacuum leak. And this one I think is stripped because you can turn this one by hand and it won't tighten down. And then these other three are good. Oil cap is good, so this is good. So I think these two are going to be an issue. I think that's part of the reason why his car could be suffocating at idle a little bit when it's fully warmed up, because it's taken in vacuum or whatever. So that may be a problem. But other than that, I got everything else done. Spark plugs and wires, PCV valve, oil change is done. I just got to fire it up and top it off if it needs it. So only other thing I can really do right now is calibrate the TPS, make sure that's within spec or the correct voltage range or whatever, and then I think that's going to be pretty much it. I did do an inspection underneath and whatnot, notice a few things he's going to need, so I'll be sure to write that on a piece of paper and give it to him. But yeah, I'll go ahead and calibrate this really quick. I made my own little jumper plug. It should work. It just is going to plug right into this connector and then plug right into the other one, and it has exposed terminal. You know, let me show you. I apologize for the dirty toolbox. I am trying to save up for a new one. This thing right here. So this just plugs in its place, and then you just plug the wires in where they're supposed to go. And then you can easily set your voltage or get your voltage readings and stuff and turn it as you need. So you don't have to try and back probe the wires and make it all difficult. I actually got this little trick of an idea from John Widmer. His channel used to be John Widmer. It's Garage Built Hondas now. Yeah, he's a pretty smart little crafty dude. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and do this. You just need to use a multimeter, and I'm pretty sure on the D series and the B series we're looking for like 0.5 volts around closed throttle and 4.5 open. So this one's pretty simple. Just come in here, unplug your stock TPS connector. And then you're gonna have the three wires here. What are they? Red, yellow, green. So I got my little jumper here. Ignore the bottom parts of the wires, and you got your red, yellow, green right here. So we're just gonna plug those in just like they are on here. So green will go on the right side, just like that. Red in the middle, yellow on the left. Okay, then we just go and plug this one back into the actual connector. Just like that. And now we have our probes right here that we can, or our pins that we can back probe. Super easy. So we get our voltmeter here, turn it to voltage, make sure we're reading voltage correctly. So 12 volts, okay, we're good. So this one we're just gonna ground out anywhere, it just doesn't matter. So I'll just shove it down right in there. Is that touching? Yeah, it's touching. Okay, so I think we're supposed to be probing the green wire if I remember right. No, Oh, we need battery voltage. Haha. So, come in here, give it some power. Okay. Oh, goodness. All right, now that we're in here, it should give us some voltage on one of these. So 4.95. That's our constant then, our switch. So 0.34. Okay, let me double check this really quick and I'll get back to you. All right, so yeah, so per the factory service manual, the yellow is 5 volt constant, so that'll be on the left. Yeah, we got 5 volts right there, 4.95, but close enough. And then the middle one, the red one, is the one that you want to probe. So yeah, we're reading 0.33. So let me get a little Phillips head and we can crack this TPS loose and we can adjust that. Okay, that's my luck. All right, whatever. Now, both of them broken loose, plug this back in. Okay. All right, so now we just rotate it whichever way we need it till we get our voltage reading that we need. So again, off the middle wire, we're looking for 0.5 volts, as close as we can get a 0.5 closed throttle. .36. And so right here, I got it at right between 0.49 and 0.54. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and snug this up real quick. See if that doesn't stay. This is just getting this thing to stay because it's super sensitive. So snug down by hand, let me see what it's at. Okay, so 0.61. Okay, moved it too far. But yeah, you just keep going back and forth like this and try and get it right at that 0.50. Oh, 0.47. Okay, 0.50 right there. So I'm gonna snug that down. That should be good. TPS is calibrated. Let's fire it up. Hopefully it's okay. I noticed the TPS signal is really jumpy though, so I think this sensor is pretty well worn out or something, or maybe it's just one of those cheap auto parts store ones. So fire it up, kind of see how it acts. I'm gonna make a good guess that the check engine light, that dude's driving with the steering wheel like this. That's terrifying. But I'm gonna make a good guess at that check engine light. It's probably for the O2s and stuff. Actually, I'll probably scan the code for him, but he has no O2. Well, he has the one right before the cap, but he doesn't have the primary. And being it's OBD2, it has a primary and a secondary, so it needs both. I'm gonna scan that real quick, but how's the throttle response? Pretty good. She's definitely idle and high. He did say that he messed with the idle screw, so I may have to mess with that, but again, it also may be vacuum leaks, and granted it's a cold start, but it shouldn't be idling that high. So we'll let it calm down for a minute or two, see what we can get out of it. So there you go, PO325, so knock sensor circuit 1, bank 1 sensor, which is the primary O2 or whatever, or the first one that he's missing. So after that, it should be good. It's still waiting on the CAT and the EVAP for the readiness monitors, because he did try to get it through emissions and it failed. He has a CAT under there. It's probably just gutted, so it's hard to tell. I didn't tap on it or nothing. Okay, this thing's about at full operating temp and it's still sitting at 2000, so we're gonna try to adjust this idle really quick. So I'm seeing, looking at his distributor, that its timing, I think, is all the way advanced right now. I forget which way is which, but it's all the way in one direction, so I think that's part of the idle, so I can't really adjust the idle too much until I get the timing light. Fan still hasn't kicked on. It hasn't started overheating yet, but the fan is not on. It's at the halfway point still, so I'm gonna give it another minute or two, wait for that fan to kick on, and if it doesn't, then I gotta try and diagnose that too. So the next day is falling upon us. I'm working right now on getting the fuses gone through because he said his cluster lights aren't working. I found a blown fuse for the cluster lights, but still didn't fix the problem. It was with a, it's supposed to be a 7.5 amp. He had a 15 in there. 15 was blown, but the 7 in, turned the switch, still not working. So next I was just going to test for voltage at the slot, and then check the dimmer switch on that, because that's what the factory service manual says to do next. I think there's even one of the things in here on this box, but yeah, I don't do much OBD2 stuff, so there's a lot more fuses to go through on this car. But I'm sure we'll figure it out. And Doge showed up, we got the timing light, we can check the timing really quick. Hopefully, I can't get this thing to calm down on the idle, but with the distributor, like I said, being so far forward, I think that may have part in it. And then the guy adjusted the throttle screw, so I'm gonna have to mess with this for a minute, trying to get this thing to calm down to try and get a base idle set, or at least base timing set or whatever. So give me a sec. Alright, so we got the diagnostics plug jumped. We're going to try and set the timing. We're not supposed to have any check engine lights, but this one obviously does. So I don't even know if it'll let us set the base timing, but we're going to try and check either way. Setting base timing, not gonna happen. Can't do it because the check engine light, and it's got vacuum leaks, like I said, from that valve. Wow, that is a big horse clutch. Woo! Yeah, so I can't even set the timing on this because the car's just mechanically got too many problems, so it won't go low enough to where I need it. I even reset the distributor back to like the middle point, because it's pretty much where it's supposed to sit, right around there, if everything's going smoothly. But yeah, even in diagnostics mode, it won't drop the idle down low enough because the vacuum leaks from the valve cover, potentially elsewhere, and then I can't take the load off with the idler control valve because the connector's like on backwards or something. Somehow, I don't know, you just, with the casting of the mat, yeah, it's a pain. Can't really get your fingers on it, so I'm gonna have to try and work that out next time if he ends up fixing the other stuff to bring the car back. But yeah, this car needs a lot of work. But I turned the idle screw all the way in, and I even set the distributor in the middle, and the idle is still at 1500, and the car is almost warmed up. So that's no bueno. I don't, this thing needs some love, needs some help. So I'm gonna have to end this video off there. There's nothing else I can do to this car. The guy needs to just get a bunch more parts and either bring it back, have me put them on, or, you know, get it fixed. So hopefully you guys found this video a little bit interesting, a little bit informal or entertaining. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you've considered subscribing. Yeah, we might see this thing back. The guy said he lives in an HOA, so he can do his own work there, so might get so fortunate as to be able to fix this thing. But anyways, guys, do what you love, forget about the rest. I'm gonna kick this thing out here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.